What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we got some Michigan football spring practice intel here on the offensive line. One player who has been quite the surprise, plus an update on Mikey Keene and the quarterback room, and also what Michigan will most likely be going after in the spring transfer portal. Plus, Fredrick Moore talks about the Michigan wide receiver room, new transfer Donaven McCulley, and Chip Lindsey's offense. Also got some good recruiting news and bad, as the Wolverines did get a crystal ball prediction, also set to host CJ Sadler for a visit, but a new prediction came in for a top running back target not going in Michigan's favor. We give an update on running back recruiting and also an update on some Michigan basketball transfer portal targets. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so to start this video, I did want to go over some Michigan football spring ball intel and also what Michigan wide receiver Fredrick Moore told the media. So let's go ahead first start with some rumors in Michigan football spring practice here. And we'll first go ahead state the obvious that the defense is ahead of the offense, which shouldn't be a surprise. Obviously, the offense has a new offensive coordinator, new quarterback room, and obviously the defense has a jump start, or had a jump start to begin spring practice, and quite frankly that probably should be good news that the defense is ahead of the offense. But according to Chris Ballas of the Wolverine, there is still been improvement on the other side of the ball, on the offensive side. Obviously, one question heading into the offseason is, how would Michigan's offensive line look this upcoming season, and would they get better, as obviously it wasn't the standard that we have been used to the previous 3 years. And according to Chris Ballas of the Wolverine, there has been progress made on the offensive line. However, it's just hard to tell how much. Now, there has been some pleasant surprises, including the transfer Brady Norton, as he has shown some ability at tackle and is right now in the mix for a starting job currently. Michigan also has Evan Link competing there, and also freshman Andrew Babalola. Now, some do hope that Babalola could potentially be the guy by the end of the year, and he is learning quickly, but obviously freshmen, they do have a learning curve, and Michigan could go ahead and look in the portal for more offensive linemen here in the spring portal. However, right now it appears the hope seems to be in the development of these guys. They do have talent, especially the past 2 recruiting classes. Now they just got to develop them, but so far so good. The offensive line appears to be making progress, and like we've said before, offensive line coach Grant Newsome has already said to the media that if Michigan had to play tomorrow, they would be confident in their starting 5. And then also wanted to mention, we did give an update on the quarterback room, Mikey Keene as well, a couple days ago, as he is dealing with an injury right now. It is an Underwood versus Davis battle currently in practice because of Mikey Keene's absence. However, according to Chris Ballas of the Wolverine, he says that sources say Mikey Keene is expected to be good to go for the season, and that Keene's situation is not a Jack Tuttle type concern. So that should be some good news. Obviously don't know fully what the injury is, but he's definitely dealing with something right now. And again, right now it appears Bryce Underwood may have a slight edge with Mikey Keene being out. And obviously so far it has been all praise for Bryce Underwood, what he's been able to do in practice, as well as his work ethic and all of that. But Michigan could also go and potentially add depth to, from the transfer portal, and so far what we know they could potentially be looking for is another receiver, and then also potentially a punter. However, Hudson Hollenbeck looked great in the bowl game, and obviously punters are pretty hard to find here in college football, at least a very good and consistent punter. So that's a little bit right there on Michigan football spring practice, how it's going. And then wide receiver Fredrick Moore also spoke to the media, talked about new incoming transfer wide receiver Donaven McCulley. He said he's a dog. He's the length that we needed at X, because a lot of X receivers are big, and he's a dog for sure. Also talked about Chip Lindsey's offense. He said that Chip's my guy. Started off at high school, now he's at the collegiate level, and we got better with throwing the ball downfield. He's still got a good running game, and the concepts we run we're running NFL concepts, running every route in the route tree. He also said they are installing some new concepts. He said we've been putting a lot of new stuff in, but at the end of the day, it's like going to class at Michigan, so it couldn't be harder than going to class. He also did feel like the ReliaQuest Bowl gave him some confidence back, and they had fun out there. He also said that all the quarterbacks get us involved, so we're just, out there having fun. We feed off each other. They all bring energy, and he said that I would just say Bryce is not the only one that brings energy, but they all play well to me. But Fredrick Moore, rest of Michigan's wide receiver room, looking to really have a breakout season under new offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey and produce a lot more than they did this previous season. Also, real quick here, do want to give some recruiting updates here, as Michigan did get a new crystal ball prediction going in their favor from the 2026 four-star tight end Matt Ludwig from the state of Montana. Steve Lorenz put one in on March 25th, and now a Nebraska insider also put one in yesterday, as Wolverines looking like they lead for the elite tight end Matt Ludwig in the 2026 class. And also wanted to mention that the 2026 four-star top 100 athlete CJ Sadler from the state of Michigan goes to Cass Tech High School. He will be taking a visit to Michigan tomorrow. He confirmed on X, so that is some big time news right there. A big time in-state target for the Wolverines, so that's some good news right there. And then we also do got some bad news though, as the 2026 four-star top 100 running back Javion Osborne, there has been multiple on-3 predictions put in for Notre Dame, including from Steve Wiltfong, as right now it appears Notre Dame has some huge momentum, and he is down to 2 schools now between Michigan and Notre Dame. He is set to take an official visit to Michigan. We'll see if it gets that far and if the Wolverines can still get him on campus for that visit. But right now, Notre Dame has a ton of momentum in that recruitment. It seems Michigan's still going after the number 1 running back, Savion Hyder. They also did recently host Brian Bonner from the state of California, a 4-star top 100 running back on 24/7 Sports composite rankings. He recently took a visit to Michigan, so he's another option there. The 4-star running back Amari Latimer from the state of Georgia is another option for the Wolverines, but obviously the big one is Savion Hyder, which is still going to be hard for the Wolverines to land. But I tell you what, they got the NIL going right now, and I'm sure they will be willing to play with it, especially in Savion Hyder's recruitment. So that's a little bit of some running back recruiting updates there. And real quick here, do want to give an update on Michigan basketball transfer portal, as Wolverines have already landed 2 out of the North Carolina point guard Elliot Cadeau, and also a big one from Morez Johnson of Illinois, a power forward. Now the Wolverines are working on the number 1 prospect in the transfer portal, and that is the UAB forward Yaxel Lendeborg, who is a 6'9", 240 forward, averaged 17.7 points, 11.4 rebounds, and 4.2 assists this past season. He's obviously weighing both options of going pro and also, playing another season of college, which seems right now like that could be the move. And right now it is mainly between a Michigan and Kentucky battle, with also Auburn in the mix as well. Now both Lendeborg and Dusty May have both followed each other on social media. Not that that really matters too much, but the fact of the matter is the Wolverines are heavily going after Lendeborg, and right now, according to Davis Mosley of 24/7 Sports, the rumors of a potential $4 million in NIL seems inaccurate, but much closer to around $2.5 to $3 million. But Michigan does have some money to work with, so he also recently said that I wouldn't be shocked one bit if a commitment were to come in the next 48 to 72 hours. And another 7-footer I wouldn't mind seeing the Wolverines land is the 7'3" UCLA center Adai Mora, who was a sophomore this past season, averaged 6.4 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist, appeared in 61 games with 9 starts over the last 2 seasons. And obviously Michigan needs depth in its front court, so that could be another option. But the Wolverines are targeting multiple others as well. Been pretty quiet though as of recently, so we'll see what happens. But obviously the big one right now is Yaxel Lendeborg, the number 1 overall prospect currently in the transfer portal. But with that, that's gonna wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it, and we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.